Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. We just finished off the FC Barcelona versus Mallorca game, and I'm trying my best to, just talk about this game and not, with the negative outcome, the negative ending of this game. So let's start with the game, and then we can discuss that disgustingness. But yeah, I mean, it's a good win for Barca, 3-0. This is like that's what they call a perfect result, keeping a clean sheet and scoring 3 goals. Game was obviously over basically in 30 minutes. The first 2 goals came from Barca, and then Mallorca got the 2 red cards, and then it was completely over. I still expected more from Barca in the second half, but we got to give shout outs to Mallorca for their defensive performance in that second half. And maybe you could say Barca obviously rotated, put on a lot of substitutions, and maybe already focusing on next game, not wanting to put too much energy into this game. But if we go from the game, from the get-go, started off a bit calmly, and then the goal. I mean, it comes from absolutely nothing. The ball is swung around on that right-hand side for Barca, and Yamal puts in a beautiful cross to the back post of Rafinha. Rafinha always makes that run, scores this time, gets the goal. Then Mallorca had a couple of chances. I think Murici, their striker, Murici, however you pronounce it, he had a good opportunity straight at Juan Garcia. They tried coming, behind Barca's high line. Barca had a couple of, small entries into the final third. And then comes the controversial second goal. It's a bit sus because I've explained it on my live. So Yamal takes a shot, hits the forehead of the opposing player, and he falls to the ground. Then Yamal loses the ball, the defender has it, then Ferran wins it back and obviously scores the goal. The 2 issues here are, the first thing, the referee put the whistle in his mouth, but didn't whistle. And if you're a Mallorca defender, you're seeing that, you're like, I guess he's going to blow. We can stop playing. And that obviously opened up a little bit more space for Ferran. I'm not saying Ferran wouldn't have scored if he didn't have the whistle in his mouth. And then the second thing, I remember PSG's game versus Spurs in the UEFA Super Cup. Paris Saint-Germain have a free kick. We shoot it straight, and it hits Pedro Porro in his head. He goes down. Referee blows the whistle. I get mad. I'm like, wow, what's happened to football? I understand head collisions. You want to stop the game, but a ball to the head is not a head collision. And I don't think you can get like a brain fracture from the ball hitting your head, no matter how hard it is. But anyways, they stopped the game in that UEFA Super Cup final. Then I watched this, and it doesn't pause. And then, I don't know, maybe it's different rules in La Liga and the Super Cup, but it's the inconsistency from the referee. Then obviously comes the 2 red cards. Yamal dribbles inside, Morlanes tackles him, gets his second yellow. I was surprised because, I didn't know that he had the second yellow. I didn't even know who he was, but it was a red card. And then Murici, absolutely stupid challenge, was never going to get the ball, just puts his foot here on Juan Garcia, and it's a foul. And yeah, stupid. Just 2 stupid decisions. Morlanes should know better. He's on a yellow. And Murici, there was absolutely no reason to do that. And then the game basically, died out a bit. I do think Rafinha should also have gotten a red card on his tackle on the right back of Mallorca. Really dirty tackle, not going for the ball, coming in with straight force with both of his legs. But once again, it's the inconsistency of the referee. Obviously, the inconsistent referee decisions went favor of Barca. That's why Madrid fans are saying stuff. But I've always said it. I think I've watched Madrid and Barca a lot of times in La Liga, and what I see is sometimes the referee favors Barca and Madrid. Sometimes he favors the opponent, and Barca and Madrid fans always talk about it on Twitter. But it mostly goes down to La Liga refs are just very bad. They are very bad. Their communication with VAR is bad. Their decision making is bad. Their inconsistency is bad. And this is just a La Liga thing. Because I see Barca fans complain from it and Madrid fans. Madrid fans say Barca by the refs. Barca fans say Madrid by the ref. I just think the referees are complete garbage. And then going into the second half, as said, I expected with 2 red cards and everything. Mallorca obviously defended the last 10-15 minutes of the first half really well, and then came out. I think the game plan was try to keep a clean sheet. They even had a small chance where Ferran Torres made a good clearance from a set piece, so maybe Mallorca could have gotten something, but Barca, just controlled the game, had the ball, made a lot of substitutions, and obviously Lamine Yamal got a goal at the end, beautiful cut in, and puts it top left. And now let's take more look at individual and stats and so on. As I said, Mallorca had 1-2 opportunities. That was basically a cheeky set piece here. But I still found out that before the red cards, Barca was still getting opened up a bit. Obviously, it's the first game. You don't want to take into account too much. We watched Liverpool yesterday. They got cut through multiple times versus Bournemouth. But as I said before, because I talked about it on the live stream. The reason I believe Barca got knocked out of the UCL last season is because they conceded 7 goals. It's because of their, I feel, 2 offensive tactics with the extreme high line and the offside trap. That seems to not have been adapted. I said if Barca, next season want to be better, I think that's something they should look into, adapting, changing. Barca doesn't seem, to want to change it yet or something. So that's still a question mark for me when it comes to Barca winning the Champions League and how competitive they will be. I still think they obviously, I think they're second in behind favorites behind Paris Saint-Germain, but I'm still unsure if that won't happen again. What happened versus Inter last year, which is basically conceding 7 in the semifinal. But that's basically about the game, individual stuff. I think, I think Darder had cheeky game, some of the touches in the center. And I think Mujica actually had a good game. When you look at most left backs versus Yamal, I think Mujica had a good game, locking it up multiple times. And now we take a look at the Barca team. Juan Garcia didn't face that much, but, he saved what he had to save. Obviously, was part of that red card. The defense obviously barely faced anything defensively. They were decent. Balde had a good start to the game as well, but they weren't that much tested. I think Pedri and De Jong obviously controlled the game really well, didn't lose the ball. Pedri obviously also had a really important interception from a counterattack from Mallorca in this game. Fermin Lopez, he was fighting a bit in that spirit in the Mallorca stuff, but obviously wasn't impactful, didn't get GA, but it's still a decent game from him. Ferran Torres obviously scored a banger, decent game from him. Rafinha scored the goal and when did he hit the woodwork? Yeah, with his left curling to the left side, and obviously, now I remember, Dani Olmo also hit the post from a pass from Rafinha, and then Lamine Yamal. Honestly, I felt he was going to be better in this game. I watched Yamal versus Como. I watched some of the comps making up, and I thought Yamal would be better going into this game. He still was, he had a decent to good game, but I expected more from Yamal. Obviously, he got the goal at the end, makes the game and everything look better. I'm probably going to get heated if I go onto Twitter and see masterclass, Yamal is back with the bang. He got a goal and assist. The assist was absolutely beautiful, and the goal was also beautiful. But you got to take into account, it took 9 shots this game. He was just spamming until that goal came in, which still questionable when it comes to big games where he will now receive 9 chances. Because that's the biggest thing, in my opinion, Yamal has to work on going into the season, was his finishing, but it still looked a bit same. His dribbling as well, he's trying a lot. That's the thing with Yamal. He gets the ball a lot of times, he doesn't complete a lot of dribbles, but he also loses the ball. But I still felt he could have been better this game. I'm strictly saying this because he will be the biggest false image. People don't lie about how they don't overrate Pedri, they don't overrate Rafinha, but he's the one that always gets overrated, unfortunately. He got the La Liga MVP, and he got a goal and assist. Because when I saw it at the end of the game, I got heated. Because I was asked before, I felt Pedri was the best. I didn't think any Barca player stood out like that, but I would have given it to Pedri. But because Yamal got the goal at the end, fair play, Yamal can get the goal, the MVP. Substitutes. Gavi had a cheeky cameo. It's obviously a big season coming up for him. I expected more from Rashford coming off the bench, trying to get GA, being a bit hungry and something. I don't remember anything from the bench players from Mallorca. This is a good start to the La Liga campaign from Barca. 3-0, as I said, perfect result away at Mallorca as well. They were able to take out a lot of their players. They took out Balde 68th minute, Kobar 69th, Fermin Lopez 46, Rafinha, and Ferran Torres. So got the substitutions. It was basically a perfect game in that sense. Obviously fortunate with the red cards that they received against them, so maybe wait for another game for a big test. The thing is, though, they already had the 2-0 before the red cards came in, so I don't think they had a big effect on that. So it'll be really interesting watching Madrid on Tuesday, seeing what they can do. But we're once again set to have a great season in La Liga, that 3-man title horse. We'll see how good Atletico Madrid are. I think they play tomorrow against Espanyol, Barca's rivals. So we'll see how Atletico Madrid perform, because once again, I am excited. I watched La Liga regularly last season, enjoyed it a lot, and I'm really excited to watch La Liga again. But yeah, as I said, because of the red cards, because Barca, took down, how can I say, their hunger and energy levels a bit, I would still say it's a good to a great game from Barcelona here to start off the season. And we'll see how they perform in the upcoming games. That's been it from boy PS Gent. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. and as usual, allez, allez, allez Paris.